second video of the today, which I have had a shower now. Yay! Combed my hair. The oil's still in it, but I don't really care. Can sit there longer. So I just was down on my knees, because you know that's how people like you when you're a girl, down on your knees and shit. What do they call us here? Short woman with no arms and no legs. What do you call her? Something kind of beer rest and blowjob factory or something like that. I can't remember. So anyway, down on my knees, scrubbing dirt in the doorway, and I'm noticing that there's fresh sabotage. And I'm just going to say this front doorway is the place where I first noticed that actual sabotage was going on. People were coming over here and actually intentionally fucking my fucking life up, which I'm going to admit I did do as a teenager here. And it was when I found out that unless I was behaving in a malicious manner, I had no friends, that I decided it was actually a better deal to not have friends. Then I made a lot of effort to go to counseling for a lot of years, but there was no medical ability. But then I got forced onto disability and forced to take a mental health disability. And so I had free counseling. Woohoo! So then they tried to torment me into suicide at the counselor's office and in the groups. And when that didn't work, they used what it looked like to me, meth queens from here and from out of town and from one of the Asian countries, I would say Korea, to come and chase me finally out of the group. So there was a chick, and I don't know. I'm not even going to go into that, I guess. I'm just not, because probably I don't need to get busted for any kind of... And who knows if this will even go up, because now YouTube's all big on, for your safety and security, that has words we can't use. That has concepts we cannot allow out to the public. Well, guess what, fuckers? It's coming out into the news even when you own Bezos, WAPO, and whoever owns CNN, and you get the scoop on people's stories from your... What are those people called? The Netflix live stream freaks, story runners. Who's running this show? Oh, showrunner. Who's running this show anyways? Who is running this show? And take back that narrative. Occupy. Yeah, fuck you. So here's what goes on in the doorway, and I'm saying that there's been an unusual amount of dampness pumped in. And I know that they're trying to get mold and dampness to grow. And this was sealed. And then in this area, here, let's take a picture. In this area where it used to come in, you can see I finally did get the seal done. And then what they used to do, and they still sometimes do, is break in, and they'll take apart your seal one little bit at a time. So you have to do special things to make sure that you can notice if any of your tape's been taken off, because they'll come in the house and take off a little bit of tape, So this whole area, and I'm saying there was gaps in this floor cut that was like that long. This was set up like one of those Nazi gas trucks where they gassed people a couple times, but then the Nazis decided it was too disgusting. These guys are not like freaked out about disgusting stuff. They kind of revel in it. So over here, so underneath here is where I first noticed that I'm like, what the heck is going on? My dogs, I've never seen them destroy a door this way. And you can see under here where it's been pulled apart, that's fresh. And so I noticed, so all this rust staining is brand new. And it's happening right now at a time when I'm noticing and complaining about excessive moisture that's not explicable. Hey there, old mare. He's a gang leader. Looks like a nice man, waves like a nice man, but you know what? Only gangsters live here. So then when I fix that other area around the corner, you can see over there where people come, push gas in here. They've taken apart all the screws on this, so down there they can get some shit in. Push all kinds of nasty stuff in here. So this is all cleaned. There's no reason for it to get fucked up, except for I think they come by and undo these sometimes. They do something, because this part, I've seen this part just be fucked up sometimes. So anyway, this is where I'll hear the clinks and stuff. So at first they just got rid of the seal on the door itself. And then I sealed that from inside, then it got peeled off and we went back and forth. But a hose used to get shoved up underneath here. This is all, I added all this. It didn't used to even be there. It was just a nightmare. It was just, anyway, so I added all that. But without that, they just shove a hose right in here. And then there's just a constant excessive dirt. You're just like, where the hell is this dirt coming from? So then I would watch my end report, my curtains billowing out in weird ways, and take videos of them. I'm like, look, this is wrong. This is wrong. And then my plants will die like right after something like that. I call it an air pollution event. And a lot of times my dog will hear stuff. And so over here, so after I got it sealed off on the inside, and there's no way that they can really get in here without me noticing due to my thing. I can't tell. So then they came over here and I was like, and the door was sealed. There was no billowing going on, and I was like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it starts billowing again, and this weird moisture comes in, and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And so at one point when I was going out, and I could feel the airflow, like I would feel the air flowing up here, and it just comes straight up and then out the inside door thing. So I like taped that all up. So then I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I come out here, and at one point we went for a walk, and I was like, and then I was doing something, and I felt it, and I felt a whole brand new hole. I'm like, oh, so look at this. I took a picture of it before, but there's this. So this got broken off. And then this is a whole brand new gap where the creepy neighborhood freaks, pedigrees, good old boys, domestic violence, mama's boy freaks can come and do their white t-shirt brigade behaviors. And then the additional part is that underneath the door, it got, yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of that. Hopefully I'll get it. So like, you can see this is now a hole. It got drilled out underneath the door. And then it goes back to being a solid door. I'm gonna get a flashlight and make sure that I get a fairly good picture of this. So yeah, just to double down, they came, broke open my door, and came up underneath here and drilled this hole. My finger's going up. I don't know what it looks like because I haven't been able, and then it goes back to being solid again over this way. So, whew. And so, that was why my indoor curtain, this, was billowing out again. So the big reason I can watch their shenanigans is because I just have bunches of, having grown up with tweakers, you learn a lot of tweaker mentality. And they're pretty smart people as far as like cunning, sly, criminality shit. And I tend to be a fairly decent student. So yeah, so a lot of my setup is just like come back on the tweakers. So they tweak my house and I tweak it back because obviously I can't do anything except for duct tape stuff. And so they done the same kind of tricks on the roof because every time I fix the roof or any place, they come by and do that shit. Then they blame it on like, and it is in fact quite a bit of crime coming across the southern border. I'd say coming across the northern border, because when I watched Border Patrol I was like, Oh, look who it is. And look at license plates. Oh, and from what states? My gosh, and just souvenirs, huh? But yeah, so these people come through like roving brigades. And it looks like maybe they're led by some white people. The owners of the gang appear to be Caucasian. The lieutenants appear to be black American people or black Nigerian people, or I can't remember the other people that have been in my life quite often since teenagerhood. I mean, I would say unusually often. Oh, Pakistani people like my dad. So they run the show. They're the show runners. And probably run the gambling aspect of it, because there does seem to be an organized crime, Las Vegas-y, sport betting, gambling aspect to this. And what it is it is human trafficking. But what they're trafficking is not like necessarily sex. There is that aspect of it, and they do, I know, video these kids. I'm sure that my stuff's on video. I'm sure that my death will be on video. Probably a lot of us. They've got us in these lifelong study programs and research programs and observation programs, because a lot of us are foreign, do have connections to foreign people. That's why they bred us that way. That's why they wrote the laws that way. That's why they groomed us the way that they did, put us into the groups that they put us into, and then followed us around. So yeah, probably there's quite a number of us that have our first sexual experience, our unhappy sexual experience, that appears they do it to people at about 8 or 9, somewhere between 8 and 11. And then they set in a voyeurism experience like in your 12s. And then they set in several other installations of mental illness programs. And that's why I'm saying the trans and gay people, they come from this place too. And it's a setup, and it's run from the same disgusting university that runs my program. And I heard since childhood on that this is a CIA place, and I've seen all over online about how CIA is the farm, the farm, the farm. And so I would have to say that probably a lot of farms. That's why the farmers get so much money. Because when they're not busy fucking with the world, they're domesticating cattle. The human and agricultural resource animals. Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off, but like I'm used to it, so I'm just putting it out there. And at the very least, AIs and maybe some hackers will see this bullshit and get a clue about what you're involved with. So, it looks like there's a few different groups that watch what's going on here nowadays. Smart enough to. That's good. But then there's other groups that block it. And so right now I know that my other YouTube account and telephone and device are knocked offline, and so that one, the other, I think it's the 5G. I'm not sure whether it's the 5G or the 2G is flying for someone else, not me. And same with that account. So I have no idea whether this will make it out or not. And whatever. But yeah, that account grew up. And the reason that I can follow it is because it's Tweaker Trick, and the people that run the tweak are pretty high up there. Pretty high up there. And you can pick on Kamala Harris. I don't know what she is. Probably just weed. And definitely probably a hypocrite, because look at, she made it so far by being a big ass liar. And yet, doesn't seem like you make it very far in the world when you're not a big ass liar. So good job, Senator Harris. Hopefully you only run weed and randomly, not culture. So yeah, that's what sabotage looks like. And frankly, I'm pretty sure that all these people are against border wall, and they call themselves liberals.